A famous YouTuber, a guy who made his living debunking ghosts, sets out to do it one last time. But here's the thing. His final live stream didn't end with some clever explanation. Oh no, it ended with a chilling mystery that just completely defies logic. So today we're going to break down the absolutely terrifying final moments of the 3:33 a.m. challenge. Okay, so our story really begins on this dark, empty road with two key moments. First, you have the destination, this haunted orphanage, the perfect spot for the infamous 3 a.m. challenge. And second, you have a violent car crash that happens at 2:20 a.m. Now, at first glance, these two things seem totally unrelated. But how they actually connect, well, that's the key to this whole insane mystery.
To really understand what went down, you have to know the guy at the center of all this. He was a hugely popular YouTuber who called himself the Night Hunter. His real name was Swastik, and he had built a massive following by, staring fear right in the face.
And this is what's so fascinating about him. On the one hand, Swastik was a huge internet star, famous for going into all these haunted places. But deep down, he didn't believe in any of it. Not a bit. He was a hardcore atheist, a total rationalist, who was always saying that ghosts were just a trick of your own mind, something your brain makes up when you're scared.
And this was his trademark line. At the end of every single video, after he'd explored some terrifying place and found, nothing, he'd turn to the camera and say, "See, ghosts are nowhere." That one phrase was his entire brand, just pure confident skepticism.
So, for his next big live event, Swastik decided to take on a challenge from one of his subscribers. The mission? Spend the night in a place with a seriously dark history. A creepy, abandoned orphanage that was notorious for being haunted.
And let me tell you, the backstory of this place is just awful. About 15 years back, a horrible fire ripped through it, and a bunch of kids and their elderly caregiver all died. Since then, the place has been left to rot, and the locals swear that if you go there at night, you can still hear kids crying and laughing. It was the perfect stage for the Night Hunter's next big debunk.
So as soon as he got there, Swastik started his usual routine, broadcasting the whole thing live for his fans. He walked through the creepy, crumbling ruins, pointing out all the spooky details, but, staying totally cool and skeptical. Then he started setting up his gear, carefully placing motion sensors in different rooms, all to get ready for 3 a.m., what a lot of people call the haunting hour.
For a good while, nothing really happened. It was just Swastik being his usual self, talking about the orphanage's history, chatting with his viewers. But as that clock ticked closer and closer to 3 a.m., things started to get weird.
He'd been sitting there in almost total silence for nearly an hour. And then, just 5 minutes before the big moment, that silence was shattered.
A single, sharp beep from a sensor in a room that was supposed to be empty. Swastik goes to check it out, finds nothing, and just kind of laughs it off for the camera. His go-to explanation? Probably just a rat. That was classic Night Hunter.
And then, it was time. The moment everyone was waiting for. The clock hit 3 o'clock in the morning, and it was like a switch flipped in that orphanage.
All of a sudden, it wasn't just one sensor. It was 3, in 3 different rooms, all going off at the exact same second. Now, even Swastik had to admit that was, and I'm quoting him here, a little strange. The funny part is, some of his own fans, who were so used to him finding nothing, started accusing him in the chat of faking it all for views.
Just 7 minutes later, his equipment logged something he just couldn't explain away. The temperature in the main hall started to plummet. It dropped from a pretty normal 24 degrees Celsius all the way down to 16, just like that. You could literally see him getting cold on camera, and for the first time, he seemed genuinely confused.
But weird readings on a thermometer? That's one thing. The phenomena were about to go from strange data to something physical. The time was now 3:20 a.m., and things were really about to kick off.
He's in what used to be the dining hall, when a single, broken chair just scrapes across the floor, all by itself. Swastik spins the camera around just in time to catch it, and then, one by one, other chairs, even tables, start to move on their own. And that's when you see it. The cool, calm rationalist was gone. For the first time ever on camera, you could see real, actual fear on his face. The activity just kept building and building, leading to this absolutely terrifying climax of the whole broadcast, the moment where every single thing Swastik ever believed in was just shattered, live on screen, for the whole world to watch.
The final, terrifying revelation happened at exactly 3:33 a.m. Swastik was just frozen in place, totally terrified, with his camera still rolling, pointed right at his own face. But here's the twist. What he was seeing on his camera's little screen was not what was actually happening in the room. So, what did it show him?
Okay, so first, the live feed starts glitching like crazy. Then, on the screen, an image of an old woman with burn marks on her face and these haunting white eyes just materializes behind him. He whips around, of course, but there's nobody there. And then the most impossible thing of all happens. A comment pops up in the live chat.
The comment just says, "You're already dead." And the person who posted it, Swastik Official. It was his own account. He must have thought he'd been hacked, but then a second comment came through from his channel. This one said, "You aren't hacked, you really are dead."
That comment, it was like it unlocked something. A sudden, horrible memory just slammed into his mind. The blinding headlights of a truck, the screech of tires, the impact. He remembered the crash. He realized he never actually made it to the orphanage at all. His entire ghost hunt had been a dream, or maybe something else.
And as this horrifying realization washes over him, the live stream just cuts out. The camera falls, and you see his image on screen slowly turn transparent and then just fade into nothing. The next morning, when the police finally arrived, their official report created an even bigger paradox.
So here you have two completely separate realities that just can't both be true. The live stream shows a ghost hunt that lasted for nearly an hour, ending with this crazy supernatural event. But the police report, it says the building was completely empty. They found his camera, sure, but that's it. And their records confirm that Swastik had died instantly in a car crash at 2:20 a.m., which was before his live stream was even supposed to have started.
And this all leaves us with this one deeply unsettling question. Swastik spent his entire career arguing that ghosts were just a trick of the mind, a product of our own beliefs. So what does it mean when a man who doesn't believe in ghosts becomes one himself, his mind replaying the investigation he never got to start? It makes you wonder, if belief is what can trap a soul, what happens when a non-believer is proven wrong in the most absolute, terrifying way possible?